going to put the pins in the back here. And we're going to put them in them brackets right there. I don't use the long shaft to put them in. I just use the short pins right here. It seems to work out a little bit better. We're going to get them in, and I'll show you the results as soon as we get them done. I find it a lot easier just to use the small pins instead of the ones that go all the way through, and then you can line each side up separately. You can do as you please. This seems to work out a lot better. We're pretty secure right in this area right here. 1782 is the machine we're putting it on. Obviously, you could tell by the sound of the machine when we were starting to get it installed. Now, this is the final results on them pins. I don't use the long through shaft that goes all the way through there. They're a little bit tougher to line up. The half pins there just work a little bit easier. You can do each side separately. The next thing we're going to do is get it hooked up to the rock shaft. They're quite a challenge to put on. I used the floor jack in the beginning to hold it up. On the 2182 that I used, I drove it right on and put it right on without any issue. This one here was a little bit tighter with them 5-rib tires on it. But that's the final results. And this is not one of the easiest jobs, but make sure you run them bolts in there. If you don't, you'll have a lot of trouble with them because the keeper in the front won't hold them. This one right here for your mule drive, and your blade will be falling off all the time. So thank you so much for watching. We're gonna move on to something else, get prepared for this snowstorm coming in, and hopefully we can get this 1782 started. It doesn't start the greatest. So everyone have a great one. We're gonna move on to something else. And like always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and we'll see you on the next one. Welcome back to the channel. Today it's November 16th, it's a Sunday, and we have a little bit of an issue with this 782. Now the issue is, and I'm going to show you, the choke is working a little bit hard. And the reason why is I put an aftermarket carburetor on it, and before I take the side panel off, I want to show you, right pinched in there is the cable. Now, when you put the aftermarket ones in, you have to run it, you don't run it through the front anymore, you run it through the back on the intake manifold, right in that area right there. So we're gonna take that side panel off. When we take the panel off, you're going to see that cable, and it's pushed, and it's pinching it a little bit. So we're gonna shorten it up. One of my customers gave me a Z-bender. I know Carol uses them all the time, and they're quite neat. I didn't have one, and I appreciate a customer and a fan that sent it to me. and I took delivery of it this week. So we're going to shorten it up. This will be the first time I've used the tool, and I'm not going to be as fast, but we're going to shorten it up quite a bit. Now this panel here, probably, there's a lot of pressure on it. There it is. And you can see right here's the cable. What I want to do is take enough off so it kind of sits in this area right here. So I'm actually going to put this grommet back a little bit further. And I want to get it shortened up enough so it goes in this area right here. I have a little disclosure, and I didn't have any issue, but filming it with a fuel tank on was quite an issue. And I didn't have, the video wasn't that great to see exactly what I did. Now, I've already did this cable right here. This was off of a KT17 or a Series 2. It was this long right here. So this cable here worked fine. There's no issue with it whatsoever. But we're going to cut one. I'm going to give you the exact measurements you should use. And then we're going to reinstall the whole cable. And we're going to put it on, and you'll see exactly how I did it. So I'm going to measure the sleeve portion first, and it's around 23.5 inches long. So we're going to be right around 23.5 inches long. We're going to cut the outer shell right off in this cable right here. We're going to snip this end off here first. We're going to cut that off, and then we'll do the coil portion of it. We're going to cut that, and actually I'm going to mark it with a marker, and then we're going to bend it, and then we're going to reinstall it on the machine. Okay, so now we're going to measure it. It doesn't have to be anything precision. We're going to line these cables up. I'm going to keep this one here as a pattern, and we're going to cut it right about in that area right there. So make sure you wear safety glasses. There we go. Make sure everything still works, and it does. So we're going to line up this other cable again. We're going to get it right about in this area right here. Make sure we're good there, and we are. We're in pretty good shape. So we're going to cut it right about, I'm going to say right about that area right there. Then we're going to use a Z-bender. Now I want to thank a fan for sending me this Z-bender right here. I've watched another channel, Terrell there. He uses it quite often. He's really quick with it. So this is actually my second time using this, and going to put it in the hole right here. Bend it. Then I'm going to turn it. And now we're going to bend it this way. Turn it. And we're in good shape. So let's reinstall this one right here on the machine and see how it works. I'm going to put the whole cable back in. We're going to lube it up real good. Run it through the hole. Get it in the notch. And there we go. We're going to put the nut on there. Run the nut all the way down. We'll take the crow foot, put right in there, tighten it right up. Now this could take you a little bit of time, so be prepared. There we go, we'll make sure it all works. Now, all the aftermarket carburetors pretty much are all sent. The choke is on the bottom side, and if you put it on the front, you wouldn't have enough room because of the governor right here. So what you do is you run it through the back, and I'm going to show you that in just a few seconds. If you have a KT17 Series 2 or 1, your teardrop right here, your lever, is on the upper portion. So you always run on your KT17s with the original carburetor, always run it this way around right through here. Now on M18 they come in from the back. So there's a place right on the back of all the intake manifolds, so it's no big deal to put this on. But we're gonna put this cable on, and then we'll get the back clip on. Here's the piece on the back. It's already molded right on the intake manifold, and we're going to use the same clip that it takes for the front. It doesn't make any difference. They fit a lot of different colors. So we're going to use a magnetic socket with a long extension. Now you can do this with a fuel tank on. There's no restrictions on that. And we're going to line that up. Now we're going to make sure that we don't have the choke activated. Tighten that up. And we're in pretty good shape. So I'll give you a side view, and then I'll give you a view of the carburetor side. So we're in pretty good shape. Let's get the fuel tank back on it and let's start it up. And the clip for the firewall. This is the ground right in this area for your headlights. Tighten that up. Then we're going to put the bolt in the side here. You can see the choke cable went right in this area right here. This is the notch on the firewall that it falls into. We're going to line the side bolt up just about in the center. And the reason you want to put it about the center, you might have to make a few adjustments, is so the fuel cap is right in the center of the hood. That's one thing is I would have loved to have been there when they were assembling these machines to see how they lined the hoods up, because the hoods are a little bit of a problem putting on. So that one's already in there. We'll tighten that up. Put this one in about the center. Let's go back over the other side. Now I'm going to show you how I do the fuel. I don't shut the fuel off when I do these jobs, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I might get some fan mail on that. We'll put that rubber piece around the firewall here. Now right here is your fuel. I run a 5/16 bolt, even though it's 1/4 inch line. I just run a bolt in it, so I don't have to shut the fuel off and then put the clamp around it. Now I'm going to take that back, put that back a little bit, and I'm going to turn that bolt right out of there. Oops, that's forward. There we go. And we'll put that clamp back on and we're all set. So let's start it up. Let's make sure everything's okay, and then I'll show you the blade. So we'll choke it, and we'll see if she starts right up. Choke it again. I didn't get it welded quite. I should have watched my own video. That's what I should have been doing before I did it. Cylinder right there is out of a 1450, the same as a 169 or any of them. Drilled 3 3/8 holes, slice that bracket. That's the bracket actually goes right down in the frame in one of them machines. And then on this side, which I should have welded it on the inside, and that would have gave me a little bit more angle on the left instead of the outside. And that's one mistake I made. Like I said, I should have watched my own video. But that'll be plenty of angle right there, actually. You don't want to have them angle in too much or you will tear up your blade. Now, a lot of people have asked me, you probably have tore the hydraulic fittings off in the cylinder many times. Actually, I haven't. I'm pretty easy on equipment, so you just have to be a little bit smart about it. It is not the best design in the whole world. Try to use a different cylinder, actually a steering cylinder off in like a 1782 Super or an 1864. Thought about it for quite some time, and I just couldn't. There was no problems with hydraulic fittings or anything of that nature. The stroke was just too long, so that was one of the issues, and I just couldn't make it work. So with a snowstorm coming, I went back to the old basics and used that cylinder there. So this is a very inexpensive way to make these angle blades. So thank you so much for tuning in. That gives you a good perspective of how to put a shorter choke cable on these machines. Really happy with this, how it turned out. So I'll put the measurements down in the comments and show you the tool, and you can do this right at home also. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and we'll see you on the next video.